Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. So I start because it's
Yes, it's your
24.
turn.
Okay.
Because it's even and not odd, and I'm the odd one.
Yes. Yes, you are. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, and welcome to episode 24 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. Oh gosh. I'm Wren.
River.
And today we are going to be talking about mirrors.
Yes, magic mirrors.
Yes.
So, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Bloody Marys.
Which actually, I think we need to come up with a new name for it because they're not the traditional Bloody Marys. I like Bloody Mary, spicy V8, and the banana pepper juice. My mouth is watering and I'm drinking one. And then Worcestershire sauce. I mean, some of it's the same as a regular Bloody Mary, but oh my goodness, these are so good. Yeah. Vodka, of course.
Yeah, in mine, I have Clamato juice and then the rest of the stuff.
Yes.
Clamato is my favorite.
I've actually tried making it with the peppered vodka, peppered vodka, which is good. We're going to, before we put this one in our cocktail book, we might even come up with several versions of it.
Yeah.
But the start of it is the basic Bloody Mary, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. You can literally put anything in a Bloody Mary. Yeah.
I mean, really, really. I mean, I've done the one with the horseradish and all that, but I really love that banana pepper juice for some reason.
Yeah, I love the banana peppers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
My favorite thing to go into a Bloody Mary is pickled okra.
Bacon. Hello. Bacon.
Bacon's okay.
Bacon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So mirror magic. I mean, this is something that's fascinated me forever and ever. Mm-hmm. And I mean, mirrors they can be cool, and they are a thing when it comes to magic. So what is a mirror? A mirror is a flat or curved surface.
Wait.
What?
I don't think that you're on your headphones.
Oh, no. You're probably right.
But it's fine. It doesn't sound too bad.
All right, hold on. I can fix it.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had some technical difficulties.
So sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. And I've been experimenting with the Bloody Marys for a little bit. So I wish we were together again, but we're not. But so she's had her versions and I've had my versions, and we've been going back and forth because we're not together. Mm-hmm. It's not as easy. And she's like, oh, try this. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I don't know how many of these things that I've had, but they're really good. So please forgive us. Okay. So the definition of a mirror is that it is a flat or curved surface, usually produced of glass, that has a reflective coating applied to it. Mirrors are also used in technology, and they are an important component in scientific instruments like telescopes, that kind of thing. Industrial machinery, cameras, and lasers. I mean, mirrors are used everywhere nowadays, but they can be magic too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A major component of the mirror is glass, but glass by itself is not a great reflector. So it has to be coated with something like, metallic something, where like silver, gold, chrome, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I have mirrors are often associated with evil, even though a means to repel evil or as a way to further the growth of evil in the world. Making mirrors are thought to be portals into other dimensions or worlds, like alluring the evil, like that contains like the evil, allowing them in, like spirits to pass in and out of our world to their world.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I found that, they're portals to bad places, but I've also found where, they're defensive. You can use them as defensive spells. So it's fascinating. And honestly, mirrors are so cool. I mean, have you ever just sat in front of a mirror and looked at the repeating, if you've got a mirror behind you and a mirror in front of you, it is just the coolest thing.
It's creepy to me.
It can be creepy, but it's not necessarily creepy. I mean, we'll talk about that later. There's things that you can do. So there are magical uses. You can use them for scrying. You can harness the power of the sun and the moon. You can do divination, banishing, binding. You can send baneful magic back to the sender, and you can use them for protection, which I find so fascinating when it's connotated so much with evil.
I know.
Yeah. But reflective surfaces have been used for thousands of years for magic. The mirror that we use today is actually a fairly recent invention, but all kinds of things were used as reflective surfaces in the past. Did you know that mirrors were once made from silver, which makes sense because silver is a shiny substance.
Yeah.
But that is supposedly why vampires can't see themselves in mirrors, is because it's made of silver, and silver is a bane to vampires. Isn't that cool?
I thought silver was a bane to werewolves.
Werewolves, that too.
Wow.
And some fae folk also don't like silver.
So I bet you the vampires in the past were very frustrated, but nowadays they're probably not frustrated because they can probably see themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if they can see themselves now.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what kind of mirror they're looking into.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Like you said, it's been thought that mirrors might be portals. Fogging up a mirror and reciting an incantation, which I couldn't find what incantation, is said to reveal to you those who seek you harm. In the right conditions, mirrors are able to show a person's true soul, whether or not they're good or bad. So the history of mirrors, I mean, this is fascinating to me. The people of Anatolia, which is modern day Turkey.
Okay.
They manufactured the first mirrors out of obsidian, which you talked about obsidian and crystals and said that those were used as mirrors. That was 8,000 years ago.
Wow.
I know. That's crazy. And then as time went on and the need to look at ourselves, I guess, progressed. The vanity.
The vanity.
Mirrors then became made out of polished copper. Those were in Mesopotamia, which is now Iraq. And Egypt from 400 to 300, 4,000 to 3,000 BC. There's a little bit of difference there. And then 1,000 years after that, people in Central and South America started making them out of polished stone, whereas the Chinese and the Indian mirrors were crafted out of bronze. So we've apparently always had this need to see ourselves.
Yeah, but if they're crafted out of such different material, could they actually really see themselves? Like, did they actually fully understand what they look like?
I don't know. And it would be distorted. So did they think, oh, I look, like the funhouse mirrors that you see? I mean, is that how they looked? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I can't imagine not having mirrors.
I know. It's so fascinating because we've always had that curiosity of like what we look like.
Yeah.
Like, what do I look like? Am I pretty? Am I like, all that type of stuff? But maybe before like the full use of mirrors, maybe nobody had like insecurities like that because they couldn't look at themselves or, I mean,
you know how animals sometimes, like your dog, Ariel, she could care less about a mirror.
Oh, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she has no idea. And Abu, our cat here, doesn't care. And my Chihuahuas, they don't care. But there are animals that see their reflection in the mirror and they don't know what to think about it. There are plenty of TikTok videos that are, I love the TikTok cat videos. And, where they see themselves in the mirror and they're like, I'm going to fight you. Or, and did humans think that when they first saw the reflection as well?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's fascinating. I mean, you think about it, the nature, of course, was the first mirrors, like pools of water or containers holding water. That's what you would see your reflection in. I wonder what people thought of that.
I have no idea.
I mean, did they realize, oh yeah, that's me. And oh, my hair looks good today. or what? I don't know.
No idea.
But then in 1835, it was the German chemist Justus von Liebig who developed a process for applying a thin layer of metallic silver onto one side of the glass. And that technique was what allowed them to make mass production of mirrors. Before that, only really, really, really rich people had them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this ability to lay the silver, which was still, sorry, vampires, you can't look at yourself right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's just fascinating. But did you know that, it's a did you know moment. Not everybody is as enthralled with mirrors as we are in today's world. So there was this anthropologist who introduced mirrors to this isolated group of people in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Papua New Guinea,
mm-hmm.
The Bayami people. And he introduced mirrors to them. They didn't have mirrors. And that tribe thought that those reflections were terrifying. They, rather than fascinating, they were terrified of them. You know, isn't that crazy?
But that, I mean, you would be like, oh, well, it's because they're not used to seeing what's in the mirror. But I mean, they're used to seeing their own people, you know, like they're used to.
Yeah. They've seen they can see other people.
Yeah.
And they've probably seen their reflection in water as a matter of course.
Yeah.
But they were terrified of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also have that. Oh, are you sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I also have that there are numerous superstitions that are connected to mirrors, and the mythology that follows as is like a result, like superstitions that are the most common are, I guess we'll talk about them, but like the ones that I've mostly heard of are like, oh gosh, like if you break a mirror, you have bad luck and stuff like that.
I've got a whole list of superstitions that I found. So like you said, the first one is the breaking of the mirror. It's supposed to be 7 years bad luck if you break a mirror. This actually comes from Roman times. So the Romans believed that when you looked in a mirror, you're seeing your soul.
Oh,
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And that mirrors were portals to the other world. The other world. I mean, you think about it, they're the ones that came up with the idea of Persephone going to the underworld and the gods and that kind of thing. So they believed that the soul renewed every 7 years.
Ooh.
And that if you broke a mirror, you damaged your soul for 7 years until your soul could renew again. I mean, so that's crazy.
It's kind of like our taste buds change every 7 years.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's another did you know. Wren did a did you know.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So also it's thought that maybe one of the reasons that vampires can't see their reflection in the mirror is not just because it's made of silver, but because they have no souls. And if the mirror is showing your soul and vampires have no soul, obviously they can't see themselves.
Yeah.
Other versions of that superstition say that if the soul can escape a mirror when it's broken, and you have to stop this from happening, the bad things that happen when you break a mirror, to stop this 7 years of bad luck, you have to toss the pieces of the broken mirror into a south running stream, and that this will wash away the bad luck in 7 hours instead of 7 years.
Where are you going to find a backwards running stream?
I know, right? How do you, I don't know. There are some streams that run south.
I know that there are. I can't remember any of the names, but
so you gather all the pieces of the broken mirror and you climb on a plane and going, okay, this isn't a weapon.
Yeah.
I just have to go wash them in a south running stream. So please let me on this plane.
Yeah. That's not a way to get arrested and into
a
psych ward.
Right. You can also take a single piece of the broken mirror and touch it to a tombstone. Not sure where that one originated from, but it's supposed to lift that 7-year curse immediately. And that's much easier to do. I can find tombstones right down the street. There's a graveyard.
I know. My husband and I live right next to one. So like
you all played the Ouija board in a tombstone in a graveyard. So
we had no idea. We didn't read the rules before.
Another way to get rid of that 7 years bad luck is to bury the pieces far apart in the ground where the spirits can't find them. So either deep, deep, deep into the ground or far apart from each other. And you have to do this at night, so your reflection is less likely to be taken with the pieces.
That'd be like a good book.
It's like creepy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole new perspective on mirrors after doing this podcast episode. So, Bloody Mary. Have you heard? Well, speaking of, we're drinking Bloody Marys. So you hold a candle up to the mirror in the dark bathroom and you say her name 13 times.
13. I thought it was 3.
There are varying numbers.
Okay.
13 is one that I came up with. I came across that one more than I did any other numbers. So
okay.
I don't know. Participants might endure the apparitions screaming at them, cursing at them, strangling them, stealing their soul, drinking their blood, or scratching their eyes out.
I'm good with everything except for scratching eyes out.
Well, honestly, the only Bloody Mary I want to have anything to do with is this one right here that I'm drinking, the vodka and, bacon. Everything's better with bacon. I'm sorry. But actually, did you know that Bloody Mary is actually named after the Queen Mary the First? It was Mary Tudor. And she was known as Bloody Mary because when she came into power, it was a different religion when she came into power, and she decided she wanted her religion, I guess Catholic religion. And she killed over 300 Protestants by burning them at the stake.
Wow.
And that's where the name Bloody Mary came from.
Wow.
Mirrors are also considered to possibly be death portals.
Oh, okay.
So it's claimed that mirrors are a way into the afterlife. And because of this, it was very common in the past for people to cover mirrors in their house after someone died so they couldn't come with the family, which I thought that's kind of weird. Why would your family member, were you mean to your family member? Is that why they're going to come back and haunt you?
Could have been.
I just don't know. Another version is that it's hard for spirits to leave their loved ones, but they don't want to leave. They don't want to go to the next world. And if they can see their family through the mirror, then they might not pass on to the next realm.
Yeah, I get that.
So if you cover the mirrors, then it eases their journey on to the next realm.
Yeah.
There's also seeing your future spouse, which you and I both have our spouses, but you sit in front of a mirror on Halloween. Why it has to be Halloween, I don't know. But
Halloween's coming up.
I know. You have a lit candle. Oh, Mabon's coming up. I don't know that we'll have another episode before Mabon. Oh, okay. Well, our next episode, we'll have to tell you all about the Mabon.
Yeah. Oops.
The Sabbath. Oh, gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Maybe we'll do a mini episode. We'll have to see. We'll see if we can have time to do a mini episode on Mabon.
Yeah.
At any rate, so on Halloween night, you sit in front of a mirror with a lit candle and you take an apple and you cut it into 9 slices. You eat 8 of them. And the final slice you throw at the mirror. After that, an image of your future spouse will appear to catch that apple slice.
That's so weird.
And then after you get married, so, okay, this works and you found your mate. So after you get married, the new couple should stand together in front of a mirror. And that is to join their souls in the other world and bring good fortune onto their marriage.
Ooh, that sounds a little, I don't want to say spicy, but.
Well, I started this episode thinking, oh, yeah, I want to learn how to work magic with mirrors. But some of these superstitions are like, I don't want to work magic with mirrors anymore.
Yeah. So I have that mirrors as portals. Like this one is just one. There are so many like backstories and everything about mirrors as portals, but the Maya believe that there were multiple worlds in addition to the human world, which I mean, probably.
Yeah, probably so.
And portals connected these worlds and allowed like active engagement between the Maya and their gods. So without portals and the ability to communicate between the worlds with the Maya belief system, like it wouldn't function. So evidence suggests that the Maya believed like reflective surfaces such as mirrors and water surfaces were portals to their spiritual worlds.
I love that.
So they didn't see it as like, oh, that image in the mirror is bad. They were like, oh, that's me in like my other world.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that if you walk past a mirror and it scares you because you catch a glimpse of yourself, that means that good times are coming your way.
Oh, that's good to know.
Well, I scare myself all the time, so I should be having tons of good luck.
Yeah.
Do not put a mirror in front of your bed in case your soul leaves while you're sleeping.
I have a mirror in front of my bed.
I do too. I've never heard that one.
Yeah. If a dead person is in the house that has mirrors, like you were talking about, their soul could become trapped forever in the mirror unless the mirrors are covered.
Oh, interesting. So they wouldn't just not want to leave because they see their family. They would actually become trapped.
They would actually be trapped. So, I mean, I bet you there are many variations of that. And we don't really understand like the truth behind it. But yeah.
I have a story.
Okay.
You want to hear a story?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the haunted mirror story. There were two Londoners that shared a flat and they sold this haunted mirror on eBay. This just cracks me up. So according to their eBay listing, it all started when one of them saw that the landlord had put out this old mirror out as garbage. He was going to throw it away. So the dude thought, oh, we could use that. That's cool. And so he went and took it and he added some silver paint and he made it real pretty. And, like we all do, we all go and scavenge things from thrift. Well, us poor people do. We all do that. And we make new things to our, we take trash and make them into treasures is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude did that and he leaned it up against their wall above the radiator.
Mm-hmm.
Soon after that, things got weird.
Ooh.
So he says, we both experienced what I can only describe as an intense, sharp stabbing pain. That's what the sellers wrote to prospective buyers. So they put this ad on eBay. And this is what they're putting in their ad.
Okay.
They would strike us both at the same time. The two roommates also complained of waking up completely drained of energy, screaming in the early morning hours with horrible feelings of impending doom.
Oh.
In addition to growing increasingly sick and depressed from all of the hauntings, one of the roommates claims to have woken up with deep body scratches. And he said that was because of the mirror, and he put pictures of it as photographic proof up on eBay. So with the mirror, it was all about finding that, perfect buyer on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sellers noted that it would ideally go to somebody who has experience with the paranormal or supernatural and who knows what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
Amazingly, thanks to the powers of the internet, there was a ton of people who expressed interest.
Yeah.
And for everyone's amusement, some of the bidders started asking questions. So here was one of the questions.
Okay.
I'd like to buy this as a present. If I win the auction, is there any way you could send it to my ex for me? Isn't that terrible? That's terrible.
Awful.
It actually sold for £100, which was a little over $150 in United States money.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for them. Whatever. That's so weird to me.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think you're the one that told me about the next one, the TikTok video that said that when you go to a mirror and you say, I am you and you are me into a mirror, it does something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're the one that told me that.
I did. Because it was when I told you about this was all over my algorithm. It was in my algorithm on TikTok. And people were like, oh, you need to go say this because blah, blah, blah. I can't remember the exact reason. And then somebody had stitched it or like duetted the video and was like, no, you do not do that because that gives whatever's in the reflection power over you, blah, blah, blah. Just don't do it.
I feel like I've seen horror movies with this whole mirror thing where the thing on the other side isn't you, it's another you, like another, like the Mayans thought, another version of you or something.
I love those stories. Like they're so cool, but do not mess with things that you don't understand.
Yeah.
So like,
for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like we've talked about that a lot, but definitely in this case, you don't know what's going on. It could be nothing, but it also could be something like really, really bad. So just don't do it.
I mean, it's a thing. And scientifically, it is merely a reflection, but there's some freaky things that have happened with mirrors. And, magic is a real thing. So be aware and be careful.
Yeah.
It can alter your reality. Allegedly, this is one of the superstitions, is that it can merge the reflection world into your world.
Yeah.
Which can create problems. There was a Chinese myth that said that the images in the mirror were actually demonic beings who were pretending to be our reflections while silently plotting our deaths.
Well, that's just funny because mine on the other end, if that's true, better be bored. My life is not exciting at all.
Maybe that's why they're plotting your death. They're like, you need to go and do something more exciting.
Go do something better.
A mirror that falls off the wall is a portent of death.
I heard that.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I never looked this up, and I'm curious because I recently not recently, it was a little while ago, maybe back in December, so almost a year ago, I bought a mirror. And it's a cute little tiny mirror with like a crescent moon on it and a face, it's like one of those. Yeah, it's like one of those like hippy dippy type of mirrors. But it was just laying on the bed and it got a crack in it. And I don't know where it came from. And I'm pretty sure. No. Well, the sun hits my bed directly through our window. And so I think the heat and the cold air that I always have going, I always have the AC going, it cracked the mirror somehow. But I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I think it may have protected you from something.
Maybe it's still hanging up. It's still cracked because the shape of the mirror is like an oval type, and I can't find it anywhere else. And it was made specifically for that frame. So I can't change it out right now. I have to find a specific one.
Later, we'll talk about how mirrors can be protection things, and that sounds to me like something was trying to get to you, or someone was trying to hex you or something, and the mirror caught that because you had it open. Because you can leave the mirror in moon and sun to trap that power, which I'll talk about later. But the fact that it cracked to me means I think it protected you.
Maybe. I still have it hanging up and it's still cracked, and I see it. I look at myself in it every day before I go.
That is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of worry for you. She says, meh.
So a mirror facing another mirror, and I know you've talked about this a little bit, but in the way of like, you think it's fascinating. If two mirrors are facing each other, the light, this is kind of scientific, the light would bounce off of the mirror surfaces repeatedly, like creating the image, and it's basically a new image with each reflection.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, the reflection from one mirror will be reflected by the other, and you get that like you're looking down a hall type
that
of
infinite. Yeah. To me that means that just shows that mirrors are more. I mean, I get that it's a scientific thing too, but I think there's more to it. You got to open your mind to the other things that are out there. It's that to me is creepy. It's creepy. So there are superstitions from feng shui, Oh, you're the feng shui queen.
And I can't say this name. It'll be in it's all linked.
Vastu Shastra.
Yeah. So among other belief systems, there are like opposing views on facing mirrors. So the bottom line of these superstitions is that opposing mirrors, like face-to-face mirrors, stream and reflect energy continuously with no means for the energy to escape. And if you're in between, like these energy streams, you will experience some sort of energy turbulence that will make it difficult to rest, relax, and experience peace. And don't quote me on this, but I've heard that if you put two mirrors face to face, it's kind of like opening that portal. And based on what the feng shui people say on this site, the energy turbulences are very high energy, so something could escape.
Not just that, but I feel like that would be a huge energy to trap, like I'll talk about later. to use in spell work. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is creepy. The mirrors, looking at mirrors.
Yeah.
So how do you work with mirrors in witchcraft? So one of the most simple ways is to use mirrors as a method to get in touch with your inner self. It's all about self-love and self-care. So, I mean, basically think about it. When you look in a mirror, there's no hiding. You see what you see. We catch intimate and sometimes painful glimpses into the relationship we have with ourselves. How many times have you sat in front of a mirror and go, oh, my nose is too big, or, oh, I don't like my eyebrows, or, oh, you know, my lips are too thick, whatever it is, we're constantly judging ourselves. And so, you know, you can use mirrors as a symbol of truth and clarity, as a way to connect to yourself. So you can do this consistently over a long period of time, about 2 to 10 minutes a day. And, you know, you create affirmations to say to yourself in the mirror. Like you can choose a different one for each week, or even a different one for each time you do this. Things like, I am worthy of love, I am beautiful, I am whole, that kind of thing. Yeah. Whatever you need personally. And you be sure to phrase them in a positive way. You repeat this affirmation at least 10 times. You don't have to do it out loud. You can do it in your head. You know, I've heard some people do it 100 times.
Yeah.
Look yourself in the mirror directly in the eye, and then embrace any emotions that arise, because you are going to feel things. It's going to be unexpected. I promise you. This is, you know, you might think, oh yeah, ha, ha, ha. But I promise you, when you do this and you start to really look at yourself, and you're looking at yourself in the eyes, you see things that are deeper inside of you than you expect. And so it can be emotional. Keep a journal of what you feel. Yeah. Record what you feel, what your sensations are, what the thoughts that arose while you're doing this. It can help deepen your spiritual awakening. You're going to become more aware of yourself than you ever have before. Yeah. You can gain clarity, inner illumination. Self-love is a super powerful thing. And it is also great for inner healing. If you're a broken person, we're all broken. Yeah. And so to spend this time acknowledging yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror, meeting your own eyes and telling yourself, hey, I am worthy. I am worth love. It's amazing.
It is.
I have a, did you know?
Okay.
Did you know that mirrors can also reflect sound?
I mean,
isn't
probably,
that bizarre?
I mean, it's a surface.
Right? So the kind of mirror that reflects sound is called, they reflect sound waves, and it's called acoustic mirrors, which I'm like, of course, I should have realized that before. But before the development of radar, they used mirrors during the Second World War to detect sounds that were coming from enemy aircraft.
Oh,
isn't that the coolest thing?
That's pretty cool.
They were magic even in the war.
Yeah.
I mean, people were doing witchcraft. I mean, not even realizing how, you know, a lot of times witchcraft is science.
Yeah.
You know, that's just cool. You can use mirrors to enchant your own reflection. So enchant your own appearance. I mean, and think about it. You can manipulate the energy. That's what witchcraft is using the energy around us. So how you do this is you enter into a trance state. You stare at yourself in the mirror and enter yourself into that trance state. You can tilt your head different ways. You can see yourself in a new light. You see yourself, look at yourself as beautiful because you are. Put stars in your eyes. And I think when you do this, some people might say, how do you do that? But when you sit and stare at yourself in the mirror, you really can feel it. You can feel the energy around you, and, you can make your eyes sparkle. You can make your appearance change. promise you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the donning of an energetic cloak through focus and energy. And it doesn't last long. I'm not able to do it for a long, long time, but it is something that you can do for short periods of time. So like right before your senior picture in high school, or, whatever it is that you need to look good for, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can use mirrors to draw symbols and sigils. So if you stare into the mirror and you create a trance state, that trance state that I was talking about, you can draw symbols or sigils with your finger. You can dip them in essential oil, or you can use a lit incense stick. Go really slowly and feel the meaning of every curve and line that you're drawing of the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of, with your second sight, which hopefully you all know what I'm talking about, you can see the sigils glowing. You know how, think about at the 4th of July and you have the sparklers as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and you light them and you move them around in circles, and you can see the circle even after you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about as with drawing these sigils. You do it with, the essential oil or the lit incense stick.
Mm-hmm.
And you hold that vision for as long as you can. You send your energy into it, your focus into it. And then if you need to, you can envision them glowing again to recharge them.
Mm-hmm.
You can use mirrors for, so you look into the mirror and you can see shapes and figures and movements. When you stare long enough, there's more that's going on behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Use your intuition to try to figure out what the meaning is and what you're seeing.
Yeah, for real. So I'm just going to give you a blatant definition. So,
okay.
Divination with a mirror or other reflective surfaces in ancient practice is known as scrying. Fun fact.
Okay.
So the term originates from the word descry. I think I'm saying that right. Descry. I don't know.
Okay.
Meaning to catch sight of. The design of the scrying mirror was very popular in the early 20th century English witches.
Okay.
So the example the example I mean is a picture that I'll tell you where to go. Is with Cecile Williamson.
Okay.
Cecile Williamson. Yes.
Was he was a witch?
Yeah. He warned that if you gazed into it and suddenly see someone standing behind you, whatever you do not turn around.
Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. Go look it up. I'll have it linked. It's like from a museum. So the title of it is Witch's Scrying Mirror. The date created was the 20th century. Right now it's located in the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic.
Where is the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic?
I have no idea. I did not look that up.
We gotta go find it.
Yeah.
We gotta go find that. We should podcast from there.
Yeah. The original source of this mirror is the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. So it's from there. Boscastle 342, whatever 342 means. And then they have copyright to it. So the copyright is to the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. And it is really like creepy looking. Like
I have to go check that out.
Yeah, it is so cool.
We need to go there. If y'all support us enough, we can go and, go to these places and podcast on site.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool would that be? The Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. Interesting. So you can also use mirrors for binding. And, like when you're trying to get rid of someone and you want them to stay out of your life, you bind them away from you.
Mm-hmm.
You can do things like you place a picture of the person or target, or a poppet representing that person or target. You can put it in something like a toilet paper tube.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put mirrors at the end of each tube. You make a slot and put mirrors in so that each mirror is looking inside to that picture or poppet. You paint the tube black, or you can wrap a black cord around it, and you put it in the freezer.
Oh.
And that will bind it away from you. You could also put a clear quartz in with the picture or the poppet, which of course, clear quartz amplifies things and spells.
Yeah.
And put it in your freezer and forget about it.
Oh, and I also looked it up. The Museum of Witchcraft and Magic is in England.
Let's go to England, baby. Honeys, our husbands, we're going to England. It's a good Bloody Mary. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay. So you can empower your mirror. There's ways to use your mirrors without empowering them, but if you want to, you can empower them by trapping energy in it, or allowing that mirror to absorb magic and energy. I call magic energy at the same time. So I sometimes think I'm a storm witch. And so to me, a thunderstorm, I can feel that magic in the air. I can just feel, it makes the hair on my arms stand up. I can feel it. And so you can go and put your mirror out in the thunderstorm if that's something that feels powerful to you, or harness the sun if the sun is something that feels powerful to you. And then you can use that later when it's dark and bleak and everything outside. Yeah. You can charge it in the moonlight, which I must say I am a very big fan of using the moon. Add a sigil for the trapped energy to give it a specific intent. So like if you're using it if you're charging it in the moon and you need the power of the full moon, or you need the power of the new moon, and that's what you're wanting to, the spell that you're wanting to use this mirror to amplify is needing that, you can use the sigil or a pictogram of that phase of the moon. Speaking of the moon, did you know that there are actually mirrors on the moon?
I did.
You did? Oh, yeah, you did. You were the astronomy kid. Well, let me tell our listeners.
Okay.
So Apollo 11, 14, and 15 left retro reflectors on the moon, and using those along with certain other instruments like telescopes and whatnot, they can measure exactly how far the moon is away from the Earth at any given time. So when they say it's a supermoon, they know that a supermoon, with it being closer to the Earth than other times of the year, they know that because they use these mirrors on the I didn't know there were mirrors on the moon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
The lasers and stuff, to measure. Isn't it cool?
It is very cool. There's our astronomy girl right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have an actual witch's routine with a mirror, and I think it's pretty cool, but you have to go to her link to look at everything. So I'm going to only discuss just a little bit. I'm just going to talk about her or there. They don't say whether, yes. So I'm just going to call them they.
Okay.
A glamour ritual for divine beauty. So you will need a mirror, obviously.
Okay.
A bowl of rose water, regular beauty / makeup tools, makeup with it can be crystal infused, natural ingredients is best, jasmine, rose water, rose quartz, honey, the whole 9 yards.
I feel like honey is a universal spell tool.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a binder for sure.
Yeah. So you'll leave a bowl of rose water under the moon, which I've never even thought about infusing rose water and then moon water, or if you already have moon water, you can make it into rose moon water. I think you can do it both ways. Okay. And then to begin, sit cross-legged in front of your mirror with the rose water, practice breathing into your belly, circulating your breath around your body. Place your hands over the rose water, palms stretched out, and visualize your highest version of yourself in the region between your eyebrows.
So your third eye. That's where your third eye is. Yeah.
It shouldn't be drastically different from how you already appear. And this is kind of like what you were talking about, how you can sit there and, change your appearance a bit. And it could be even unrelated to changing your physical self, but it could be about changing your inner self as well. So perhaps you're just happier or a more confident version of yourself. And
I like that. Yeah.
And so once you have a clear image, describe your desired image in present tense, theoretically, into the water. So you talk into the water. So for example, I am a magnetic, spectacular, unique queen, etc. I am, not I wish to be and stuff like that.
Yes, I am. Okay. Yeah.
When you have finished, wash your face and palms with the rose water, place palms outstretched facing the mirror now, and imagine magenta light sweeping out of your palms into your face, dousing your mind and body in the beauty. And then if you continue this regularly with your desired beauty routine and commit to the images of yourself, then it should work. Like it should help you and work with your body and help you
become more beautiful inside and outside.
And out. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yep.
I feel like.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead.
But do go and look at their website, because the website was really good and it goes more in depth into everything.
I feel like this is a spell that we could do together. I feel like this is one that would be more powerful with 2 witches or more than it would be with one.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Interesting. We'll have to try that.
Yeah.
So mirrors can amplify your magic.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time you're casting a spell, place a small mirror on your altar or wherever it is that you cast your spells, and see if it increases your spell success.
Yeah.
You know how when you angle a mirror or a magnifying glass in the sun and you can actually light a fire with it? Mm-hmm. That's how a mirror works with magic. You're amplifying it and making it focused and what's the word? Tight. I don't know.
Dense.
Okay.
You're making like the
you're focusing it
more.
Yes.
Dense. Like that's how I see it. Yeah.
So like a mirror can amplify light, it can increase the strength and potential of any energy. Wow. I am on probably my 3rd one of these drinks. You guys, is so good. At any rate, it can amplify the strength and potential of any energy that's directed at it. So if you set up a mirror, or better yet, a charged mirror, like I was just talking about, whether, depending on the use, what spell you're trying to do, whether it needs to be a sun amplified or moon amplified or whatever, you set it up so that it reflects the ingredients of your spell or your ritual. And then you complete your spell as you normally would, but it's with that mirror looking at it. That amplifies it. For an extra strong spell, you can add a crystal that corresponds to whatever it is that you're casting. I have another did you know?
Okay.
So the world's largest mirror.
Oh.
It is a salt flat in Bolivia. It's called Salar de Uyuni, and it is 4,000 square miles.
Wow.
So when rainwater happens or when water from nearby lakes accumulate on the surface, this gigantic salt flat transforms into a lake. And because it's so thin, the salt flat becomes extremely reflective. And that turns it into the world's most giant natural mirror.
Wow.
So I feel like there's a whole bunch of witches collected there. We could do some shit.
4,000 square miles of witches, please.
I love it. We should do it. Let's go to Bolivia. After we go to England. But I think that's all I've got on mirrors.
Yeah, that's all I have too. So I guess this is it. We'll be back. You guys can check us out on all social medias at C3 Witchy Podcast. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What am I missing? TikTok. And then you can also find us at www.c3witchypodcast.com. There will be all the links to our social medias, as well as Patreon and merch and pretty much everything else.
Yes, come support us. We just sent our first patron her tote bag today.
So excited.
And you know how we've been talking about, we're working on our cocktail cookbook. Our patrons get inside sneak peeks of our cocktail recipes. Now, we just posted one about the dance naked. And she texted us and said, "Oh, I'm on the way to go buy the ingredients now." Hopefully she liked it.
Yes, and I hope so.
Our patrons can give us feedback and we will, tweak our recipes because we are very excited about our cocktail cookbook that will be coming.
Woo! Woo.
Yes, come support us. You all get all kinds of neat stuff. So
oh yeah. So we'll see you.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. See you next week.
All right.